Chapter 2. A Countryside Reunion. 10 years later. Audrey snaps a photo of the Wellness Farm wood archway as she enters the property and texts it to James. Just like their social, he instantly replies as if he's been hovering over his phone like a helicopter parent. When her Uber pulls up to the main house, the yard in front is filled with women in prairie petticoats doing chores. It's like Little House on the Prairie meets the Stepford Wives, with a dash of Instagram filter. The women hustle across the farm property, their skirts bouncing as they work, huge smiles on their faces. "Audrey!" McKinley squeals, running down the stairs with a baby clinging to her hip like a koala. She hugs Audrey, nearly smothering her with forced enthusiasm. "It's been too long." McKinley waves to some of the women. "Help my friend with her bags, will you?" The women immediately drop what they're doing and in perfect unison scoop up the bags Audrey was struggling with, hauling Audrey's city luggage up the front porch. "These ladies are here for our Wellness Women's Empowerment Retreat." On cue, one of the women snaps to attention like a Barbie doll coming to life. "I used to focus on work because I didn't feel confident to date. Now, I'm hunting for a husband and speaking up at work." Her smile is so wide, Audrey doesn't even remember the last time she was that happy. It feels slightly unsettling, but she wonders if it's just because she's been in the city too long. In New York, only tourists smile at you. "Let's all clap for Rachel," McKinley chirps. The women applaud with the energy of a corporate team-building exercise. "Thirsty?" one of the women asks. "I'm good. Got my water bottle," Audrey replies, clutching it like a lifeline. Audrey is very worried about germs, McKinley says. "I just prefer filtered water," Audrey says. She holds up her bottle, which has a filter visible inside. Drinking out of a straw can give you wrinkles," the woman says with a chipper tone. Audrey turns her head, blinking at this woman. "Audrey!" Having made it to the kitchen, McKinley chimes, saying, "Let the girls deal with your bags." The women leave them, taking the bags up to the house's second floor. Audrey sits at the kitchen table, pulling a bottle of wine out of her bag. She looks around the kitchen, which is decorated in masculine shades of navy and forest green. The home's natural wood gives it that picturesque, homegrown feel that's attracted millions of followers on McKinley's social media. Maybe people are happier with a simple life. After all, everyone here seemed happier than everyone in the city. As Audrey settles in with her glass of wine, McKinley drags a bucket of soapy water across the floor, splashing her prairie dress. "Don't clean on my account," Audrey says, annoyed. She didn't endure 6 hours of train hell to watch her friend audition for Pioneer Woman Extreme Edition. "Running a farm with 8 kids? My life never stops." McKinley laughs. "This place is immaculate," Audrey marvels. "I can't even stop my cat from turning my sofa into abstract art. And you've got all this." She gestures vaguely at the Norman Rockwell painting come to life around her. McKinley beams. "It's the perfect dream." "How's everything with Patrick? Still in that rough patch?" Audrey sighs, hunching over at the table. She could not keep this topic off her mind, especially since she had dated Patrick for so long. All their friends and family kept asking why they hadn't gotten married. "I love Patrick. He loves me. It's very 50-50. He cooks, he cleans, and I bring home the bacon. I'm the breadwinner, and I kind of dig it. It feels right. But at the same time, he doesn't buy me flowers or take me to nice dinners. It feels kind of sexist, but I want that too, you know?" "You were always the career girl," McKinley says, wringing out her mop like it owes her money. "Yeah, but now I'm not so sure. Paying all the bills, worrying about money. It's not exactly the girl boss dream they sold us in college." "Do you want kids?" McKinley asks. Audrey chews her lip. "I don't know. The idea of sacrificing sleeping in and grabbing fresh bagels for getting woken up every hour by blood-curdling wailing is not super appealing. And then there's the question of whether we can afford it. Patrick has his painting. It's not that he's lazy. Patrick works hard. He paints every day. He's committed to his craft. But let's be real, he's not making any money. With just my income, if I did want to have kids, how would we afford them? Well, Jessica be joining us? Audrey asks, changing the subject, suddenly remembering why she's here. McKinley's hands freeze mid-wipe. Oh, she's doing the women's empowerment retreat in the barn. It's very strict, with no outside contact. Total disconnection from the world. She dumps pristine water down the drain and immediately starts wiping the already spotless sink. James and I haven't heard from her in a week, Audrey says, concern gripping into her voice. McKinley pauses, looking down, then shifts her head, her tone chipper again. You know, our program is kind of like rehab. These women want real change, and that means zero interaction with the outside world. We were just a little worried. I've never not heard from her for this long, and she's posted her outfit of the day every day for years now. Even if they took her phone, she'd find a way to post, especially considering this. Audrey gestures towards her friend's prairie getup. I'll see if she can slip away tomorrow. It'd be nice to have a reunion. McKinley grabs the sink sponge and starts scrubbing at non-existent dirt in the sink basin. Audrey was a germaphobe, but even she didn't clean this much. Audrey shifts uncomfortably. Want some wine? You look like you could use a glass, or 10. McKinley hesitates. Oh, I don't drink anymore. Stephen doesn't like it, and I'm trying to be healthier. Healthy wife, happy life, Audrey raises an eyebrow. Don't you mean happy wife, happy life? Oh? McKinley says. She opens the fridge and pulls out one of Wellness Farm's signature mason jar juice products. She reads the label. It says, healthy wife, happy life. The door bursts open. As if on cue, Stephen steps in. Despite being dressed as if he spends his day doing farm work, there's not a drop of dirt on him. Meanwhile, the man with him appears to have been dragged through several fields on the way over, and smells like it too. Audrey, you remember Stephen from back in the day? And our neighbor Matthew, McKinley says. Matthew's jaw drops at the sight of Audrey. Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Aren't you the prettiest little filly I ever did say? Audrey, caught off guard, smiles awkwardly. She was so relieved when McKinley and Stephen broke up so long ago. Yet here Stephen was, now engulfing her friend in his bizarre country-fried fever dream. You look parched from your travels. Have a glass of water, Stephen says, pouring some from the sink. We have the freshest well water in all of this great nation. It even has natural probiotics proven to be an organic alternative to caffeine. He hands her a glass. Oh, thank you, but I've got my water bottle. She holds up her water bottle. What's that? Stephen said, squinting at her bottle. It's this new tech that filters water on the go. His lip quivers as he thinks for a moment, his lips fluttering from frown to smile. Right, Stephen says, lowering the glass. I'll take some, Matthew says, reaching for the glass. Stephen pulls it away. Nonsense, my wife will make you some tea. It's cold out. McKinley? Stephen says. McKinley's eyes light up, like the front lights of a car just turned on. She grabs the kettle and starts boiling water. Audrey wrinkles her nose as Matthew plops down next to her. We're destined to be married. I seen it in our star chart, Matthew says, settling down in the seat next to Audrey. Audrey looks at him incredulously. Don't you need my birthday and birth time to do that? You can see the stars a lot out here. Every night. I'll be looking up at them stars, praying for a woman like you. I see, Audrey says, feeling the weight of the day's journey. She yawns. Actually, I'm a little tired from the trip. I might need to head to bed. May I take her to her room? McKinley asked Stephen. You have some lady time, and I'll sit here and chat with Matthew about the farm. Men stuff. Alone in the hallway, Audrey whispers to her friend. Are you trying to set me up? I told you I had a serious partner. I know, I'm sorry. It's just you've been dating Patrick for so long and you said he won't pop the question. And I'm lonely out here. So Stephen thought maybe our neighbor, he's real sweet. A bit odd. He means well, McKinley said. And here's your room. I put fresh towels on the bed. Thanks for hosting me, Audrey replies at the doorway. It's so nice to get away from the city. I just needed a bit of a break. Of course, anytime. Would it be possible for me to go check in on Jessica? I'd love to say hi. McKinley's smile drops to a blank stare. But then, like clockwork, a smile creeps back up. Now you know Jessica signed up for our retreat because she wants to learn how to find a man. We can't stop her from going on her journey, and the program is very strict about having contact with your former life. They're doing real transformation out there. She nods in the direction of the big barn on the property. But we haven't heard from her, and the retreat takes everyone's phones, and it's part of the process, McKinley says more firmly. Audrey nods, biting her lip. Was she being silly? If she didn't have her phone, of course she wouldn't hear from her. And everyone outside seemed happy. Maybe living in the city had made her overly cynical and untrustworthy. Even so, her gut told her something was off. Perfect Modern Wife is available on Audible, or check back next week for the next chapter. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to let me know and subscribe online. I'm at Kristen Van Nest on all social channels. Thank you!